Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? The Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, we have an unboxing today. And I know what it is. It's coming from BladeHQ. It's their AD20.5 exclusive. Black DLC exclusive with Jade Grivory scales. And these are my AD20.5s. As you can see, I got 5 shark's feet and I have 4 clip blades. This one is going to be the 5th clip blade. So then I have 5 of each. And it's going to be my last one. I'm done buying AD20.5s. I have all the AD20.5s that I want. The only thing that can get me to buy another AD20.5 is if they come out with something like S35V in steel or CPM 154 or I don't know, 20CV, I don't know, M390, I don't know, one of the other steels, crew wear, you know, what else can I think of? Magna Cut. Oh no, that would be awesome, Magna Cut. But I'm gonna hold off on getting any more until they come out with some better steels. I love these knives. These have become some of my favorite knives of all time to carry every day. To always have one in my pocket. This is the kind of knife that you can always have in your pocket because it's not too heavy. And for me, I don't like knives that are too light either. And so it's like right at the right weight. You know, 3.6 ounces or 3.5 ounces, something like that. 3.7 ounces, right around in there. That's perfect. And all I can say is that anybody that's a naysayer about the AD20.5, all I got to say is, oh well, to each their own. Because I believe everybody should be able to have their own opinions, even if they're kind of whack. Because these knives are where it's at. The new Shark Lock, in my opinion, is the best. Is the best lock. I would like to see a strength test between, you know, I wish I could afford to do it. I would do a strength test, you know, just because I just want to see which is stronger, the Triad or the Shark Lock. And if the Shark Lock's not the strongest, I want to see how strong it is. I want to see, you know, because I know it's going to hold more than, even in these small knives, in a small knife like this, I bet you could still hold 300 pounds. And that's a lot for the size of this knife. And for the bigger one, who knows how much that will hold? You know, like the S model I have, or the regular AD20. The regular AD20 I would expect to be the strongest of all the new Shark Lock knives. And then I would expect one of my S models. I guess I should have these out too, huh? Might as well show all the Demkos that I have. The new Demkos that I have. These are my S models. I got one in clip and one in Shark Foot also. I'm kind of OCD like that. I like to have equal amounts of things. I know. I'm kind of cuckoo sometimes when it comes to things like that. I like to buy things in pairs, and I don't know. I'm weird. I know I'm weird. I'm probably what you could call officially a real knife nerd. A knife addict, knife nerd, whatever you want to call me, that's me. But anyway, I've always loved knives ever since I was a kid. I don't even know why I like knives. I mean, it's not like I'm a wood crafter or a carver. It's not like, you know, I do go hunting and fishing, but I don't go hunting and fishing all the time. And, you know, I do use my knives for everyday cutting chores like everybody does. Everybody that carries knives uses their knives to open envelopes, boxes, you know, everyday cutting chores, maybe a slight food prep or something like that. You know, but I don't need to have as many knives as I have. I don't need to have all the different kinds of knives that I have. I don't know, when I see a knife, sometimes it just looks sexy to me, and I just want it. What you think? What you think, Juno? Am I kind of cuckoo about knives? Huh? Yeah. That's my sweetie. I still love you. That's my sweetie. You just tell the truth. But yeah, I think a lot of us are like that. Because I think a lot of us that are knife collectors and are enthusiasts, whatever you want to label yourself as, When you got, let's say, more than 10 knives, when you go beyond 10 knives, beyond 20 knives, beyond 30 knives, and then you get to where I'm at, where you don't even know how many knives you have. you know, it's a number that is way out in La La Land. I mean, it's like, you know, like, why does anybody have that many knives? I have that kind of number of knives. But because I buy them all the time. You know, with my extra money and stuff, you know, because I don't do a lot of things like I used to do in my youth. In my youth, I was very wild, riding motorcycles with my buddies all the time, always hanging out in biker bars and getting in fights and doing stupid stuff and wrecking bikes and building bikes and repairing bikes and building them up again and just always doing something stupid. It seemed like I was always doing something stupid. I was always going to the hospital every year. You know, just about every year since I was like, up until I was about 35, I went to the hospital every year. Went about once a year or twice a year for broken bones from wrecks. Because when I was a kid, I used to ride BMX bikes and dirt bikes, you know, motorized dirt bikes, and back in the 60s and stuff. And they didn't have BMX bikes yet, so we used to take like the little Schwinn bikes or Huffy bikes or whatever you can get at Royce Union, and we'd put a solo seat on it, and we put like smaller handlebars on it, take off the 8-hanger style handlebars that they came with, and find some knobby tires. And that was our BMX bikes. That was the beginning of BMX bikes. That was before Mongoose bikes and all these other different kind of, you know, bikes that they have nowadays with suspensions and all that. We were pre that. We were the founders of it. We were the OGs. And we used to ride dirt motorcycles, because in my city where I grew up in Sacramento, when I was a kid, there was only like 200,000 people that lived here. And it was like basically considered like a farm town. Or like a cow town, you know, we're surrounded by farmland and ranches and you know, a lot of outdoor stuff and things like that. That's the way it was when I was a kid. But now California has over 40 million people that live in it. Every city has millions of people, just about. There's no small cities no more. And like the city I grew up in, this city has almost 3 million people living in Sacramento County. So it's gotten ridiculous. And the major cities in California have tens of millions of people living in them. And it's just extremely crazy, because you're always waiting in lines. You always have to wait in lines. There's always traffic. It's one reason why I like to ride motorcycles, because in California you get split lanes, so you don't have to sit there in traffic for hours just to go 10 miles. And but you know, it's madness sometimes. And I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to always be in trouble and stuff like that. And that's part of the reason why I went in the military, to get some things, because I had 27 traffic tickets between the time I was 16 and 18, and 3 warrants out for my arrest for speeding violations. Because I used to like to drag race. I used to street race on the street all the time. And I had a '69 Corvette, and it had the big block engine in it, and it was fast. It was one of the fastest cars in high school. And so I used to drag race and then race motorcycles. I had a motorcycle too. I had a Suzuki 554. That was my first big bike. And I was always doing stuff. Always getting hurt. Getting in fights. I was a wild child. And so my father wanted to make sure he was worried about me going the wrong way in life. So he had me, you know, join the military. Because he was a ex-Marine, and he was an E6 in the Marines, and during World War II, the end of World War II, the war in the Pacific. And he was a wild child too, and that's the way he straightened up, is that the military straightened him up. And so he wanted me to go the same route. He thought that would be the route I should go. And so we made a deal with the juvenile court judge, and told him I was going to the military, and dropped all my charges and dropped all the warrants, and I went into the military. And the military did straighten me out. I almost got kicked out of basic training. I got a plaque in basic training. At the end of basic training, when they gave out the awards, I got an award for the most improved physical fitness training, or PT training, because I wouldn't run in formation when I'd always, like, everybody was running too slow. That was another thing. When I was a kid, I was an athlete. And in high school, I played football and did stuff like that. But anyway, in basic training, I was one of those kind of kids that didn't like to follow rules. I was like a 1%er kid. I like to follow my own rules and follow my own beat of the drum or whatever. And they always wanted to do the airborne shuffle and running in cadence and all that kind of stuff. And I used to get tired of running in cadence. I just start lapping everybody. We were running, in basic training and stuff. And I used to get in trouble. I didn't like getting up in the morning. They used to throw me out the bunk all the time, and the drill sergeants. And I was always doing kitchen police. I was always, peeling potatoes. And the other thing that they used to do to me is they'd have us out in the field, the people that got in trouble, and they'd give us like a sickle, and we'd have to cut the lawn with the sickle, cut down all the weeds. But anyway, that was the beginning of my military career. I was one of those people. I'm sure if you're in the military, you probably knew people like me that were always in trouble, and always getting Article 15s and losing rank, making rank, losing rank, making rank, losing rank, making rank, losing rank. When I finally got out, I was an E4, but I was a PFC like 4 different times or something like that. It was kind of whack. But I never got in trouble when I was on duty. When I got past basic training AIT, I was in regular duty. I always did my job. I learned that it's easier just to do your job and follow the rules in the military and everything else. And then when you get off duty, you can party. That was me. I used to always get in trouble off duty. Down in Germany somewhere, I get in trouble somewhere, whatever. Pullo's IB arrested me or whatever. But when I came back, I was pretty much mellowed out. And the only thing I was still doing was riding motorcycles and chasing after fast women, hanging out in bars. But I was always working, man. It's like my job, when it came to my job, I always took my job seriously, and I worked seriously, and I had a good career. I got into a career with the state in California, and I retired from it. Now I just work because everything is so expensive out here. It's like, you need more than just your retirement nowadays. I mean, if you want to have some extra money, you know what I'm saying? And so, I work on the side, full time on the side. Actually, it's like more than full time. Last time I used to have like 45 to about 65-hour weeks. And it's getting old. And I'm sort of like ready to retire, but I'm finding out that I can't stay here in California because it's just too expensive. So I'm going to have to move. But anyway, I got all sidetracked like I always do, huh? Let's see what this one is. Let's take a look at this one. What are we going to open up today? Oh, this is the new one that you guys haven't seen. This is the one that I got the other day. And I told you I was going to leave it, OD green and black. And I ended up doing what I originally planned to do. Was I put the black Grivory scales on it to totally black it out. This is a DLT exclusive that I totally blacked out. This is what it originally looked like. New DLT exclusive. Yeah, let's open these up, huh? Since we got them over here. That's the ones with the shark's tooth pattern. The shark's tooth pattern. Shark's tooth pattern. Modified that one the other day too. This is the RGT with red micarta scales. Linen micarta. These are linen micarta scales. This is the first one I got. This was my first AD20. AD20.5. This is the very first one I got. It's totally stock. All of this one, and this one, they all have skiff bearings. This one's totally stock, this one's totally stock, and this one's totally stock. This is the D2 one, my first D2 one. Knife Center D2. I think it was it Knife Center? I'm pretty sure it was Knife Center. This is the one, oh, and these aren't called the knuckle pattern. It's called the nuts. Nuts. K-N-U-T-Z, I think it is. Nuts pattern. Let you guys get a close look at it. I think it's a really cool pattern. From Original Goat. Original Goat scales. Did I say this one was Original Goat too? That's Original Goat. This is Shark's Tooth pattern. These are aluminum scales with aluminum back spacers, and they're ceramic coated. These have the skip bearings also. This one is the RGT scales. These are the Python pattern scales. RGT scales. The RGT ones are thicker. So they change the dimensions of the handle of the knife, and they feel and a little bit of thickness, it makes these knives feel really good in hand. Sort of makes me think that that's the way that they should be making them, is with the thicker scales. Because the thickness of the RGT scales is just right. I mean, it feels really good in hand. Feels really good. And now they got the carbon fiber scales. I think they're like $159, so they're not cheap. But you got to remember, though, they come with the back spacer. The RGTs come with the back spacers. These were $69. And because of the back spacers and everything, I think that's the best deal I've seen for scales. Scales and back spacers, if you want to modify your knives. It's the least expensive way to do it. That's really cool. This one right here is a carbonized with an Original Goat back spacer that I polished. And when the deep carry clips I use are the Lynch Northwest clips. This is a canvas micarta. It came from BladeHQ. And it's supposed to be green, but it's sort of brown, more brown than green. In bright light, though, it looks sort of, in sunlight, it does look kind of green. All right, let's open up this one. Hope everybody's doing good out there. I went overboard on the AD20.5s. I know it. Everybody's probably thinking, why you got 10 AD20.5s? Well, I do have 10 fingers. I'm being silly now. Okay, here we go. I don't have any other knife where I just have 10 of any other one model of knife. I don't have any like that. This is the first time I've done that. I do have a lot of Hogues, the X5s. That's another knife I have a lot of one model. All right, here we go. I know you guys probably seen these. Well, there they are. I got these to dye because I want to see if I can make some. I like Purple Rain. I like my Purple Rain Civivi, and so I wanted to have purple in my drawer. And so I'm gonna get some purple dye. Not the royal purple. I'd like the lighter color purple. The purple that looks real purple. And I'm gonna dye these scales, and I'm gonna put them on one of the knives. I don't know which one yet. This one I want to leave the same, because this is the original one I bought, and this is original D2. This is the original Oz 10 one I bought. Original. This is the first 80-20 period I bought. So I do not want to change this one at all. I want to leave the stock bearings in it. Totally stock. And I want to leave this one totally stock. So I might do this one. I don't know. Let's see what it looks like. And this is coming from BladeHQ. Knife Life. I like that. That's a cool sticker. Knife Life. Let's set these over here. And wait a minute, there's supposed to be something else too. Let me see here. Let me check out this box again. Coffee in there. Huh. Okay. I don't see what I'm looking for. Oh, here it is. Here they are. The springs. These are some spare springs. for the AD20. AD20.5. Spare springs. So if I ever have one that wears out or breaks, I got another spare spring. And they're real cheap too. They were like, I think they were $5. These scales were like $10. The scales and the backspacer. $10. I thought that was such a good deal. And these are Demko scales. These are the original Grivory scales. But they're just white. I think they did that on purpose so people can dye them with their own colors if they want to dye them. That'd be my guess, the reason why they did that. And you put the springs out there in case you're wearing out springs, because they know that there's probably a lot of people like me that are like playing with these things until they fall apart. Demko packaging. Spare. And now you got a black one for left side. Black pocket clip. I like the way these pocket clips look when they're blacked out. They look nice. Actually, I like that too, though. Because a lot of people don't like the pocket clips. I sort of like them. And, you know, like if these were big knives, I would not like these pocket clips. But on a knife like this one, with a blade that's 3 inches long, that's legal everywhere in California, just about. I mean, the only place you can't have it is like government buildings or on college or school campuses and things like that. But everywhere else, this blade is totally legal. So I don't care if somebody sees a little bit of orange in my pocket, and let's say a cop, or a police officer wants to, see what's in my pocket. I'll show it to them. It's a 3-inch blade. So what? It's not even a stabby looking knife. So this one to me is totally safe to carry everywhere, and that's one reason why I like it. Because it's totally safe to carry everywhere and it fits my hand. And I feel really comfortable with it. I think it's an exceptionally awesome knife. And I highly recommend it. Well, these almost look white. Let's sit down right here for a second. These look dyeable too. Probably didn't need to get these, because I thought these were going to be more like a green color. Well, they are a very, 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 very slight green. It's more white than green, I would say. It'd be really awesome if that was G10. And it was like I love the natural Jade G10. I love that. Another beautiful Demko knife. This is Oz 10, Oz 10A. These are the ones that BladeHQ has. This is their exclusive. And so I'm probably going to take these scales. I'll probably keep these scales and put them back in the pouch because they're their exclusive scales. And these scales were meant to be dyed. And I'm going to get some RIT dye, and that'll be the next video that you guys see me do with AD20s. AD20.5s. We'll be doing some dyeing. I'm going to dye those purple and make this one purple. Purple and black. It'll be like my purple and black Kojit that I like so much. But it'll be better because it's the AD20.5. So this is going to be the new Purple Rain when it's all said and done. Alright, so there they are, people. I'm not going to go into depth and talking about anything about the knives or whatever. Y'all have seen these knives. Y'all have seen all my Demko knives. And it's like, you know what? I was starting to lose my mind over these things because all last year pretty much, or ever since they first came out, I've been wanting to get these things. And I was trying and trying and trying. And trying to bust my butt to get these things, and and everything like that. I could never get one. And then it seems like the beginning of this year, it's like, bam! All of a sudden they're available. I mean, I got this one for $225, this one for $300. All of these were $150. And this one I think is 159. The DLC'd ones, I think they're 159. The ones without the DLC finish were 149. But I absolutely love these knives. These knives rock. And I think they're good. Doesn't matter what kind of bearings you put in it. It's like, you know, because the stock bearings work. I like the way the stock bearings work too. I never had a problem with it. They drop shut. See, this one's totally stock. It hasn't been adjusted or nothing at all. And it drop shuts. Just as good as this one with skiff bearings. This one's a little bit smoother. It even feels a little bit smoother. I do love the skiff bearings. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting down the skiff bearings, but I'm just saying that if you can't afford to get skiff bearings, or if you don't want to spend the extra money, that's perfectly fine because the Demko bearings will last you a long time too. Because this one is my original one, and it's been open and closed thousands and thousands of times. This one is the one that made me like all these others. Because of this one, I bought all these others. And y'all saw when I first got this one. And this one has been in my pocket pretty much constantly every day. Now probably the black one will be in my pocket. This one I've been carrying for the last couple of days. Yeah, last 2 days. Last 2 days I went to work, I carried this one. Yesterday and today. And both days I worked double shifts. Absolutely love it. This one's the perfect one for me for work. Y'all know I like to have the blackout knives, the best for work. That's the reason why I blacked this one out. And that's the reason why I'm not black it out, but they put the purple scales on it. Because with the purple scales, it's, you know, it doesn't really stand out. Because purple's pretty dark. It's not bright. I don't want the bright purple. I want the purple. I don't want royal purple where it looks like black. I want purple that looks like purple. I want it to be like a darker purple, but not royal purple. So I really have to pay attention to when I'm dyeing them, not to let them stay in too long. You have to keep checking the color. But yeah, the skiff bearings are nice. I think the skiff bearings are made much nicer than the stock bearings. But the stock bearings, I know a lot of people are complaining about the stock bearings and all that. But I've never had one of the stock bearings not work in one of my knives. All these knives came with stock bearings, and these knives have the stock bearings too, and they all work perfectly fine. But I do like the way that the skiff bearings are, because the skiff bearings are like a little bit nicer, because it makes it a little bit smoother and a little bit, I don't know, it's just better bearings. That's all I can say. But the original bearings work just fine. If that's all you want to do, that's perfectly fine. These knives are perfectly fine the way they come. I know when I first got this, when I was complaining about the Grivory or whatever, but you know what? I actually like the Grivory now. Why? Because it's durable. This is a work knife. I take this to work. It's durable. It gets banged up and dropped and all sorts of stuff, and it always looks the same. It doesn't get scarred up and scratched up. I'm one of those kind of people that if something gets scarred up or scratched up, I'll probably stop carrying it. Because I like all my knives to look perfect all the time. I don't know. I'm kind of weird like that. And so, if I scratch up the blade, I'll polish it out. I'll polish the scratches out. That's the reason why I have a lot of polished knives. It's not because I originally wanted to have a polished knife. It's because I damaged it a little bit and I repaired it. Just like motorcycles, like I told you guys, I used to always get motorcycle accidents. I don't even know how many motorcycle accidents I've had. I've had some major injuries from motorcycle accidents too, doing stupid stuff on motorcycles. And every time my motorcycle got damaged, I would repair the parts, because I never had a whole lot of money when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? And so I learned how to repair things. Take things apart and salvage things from other broken motorcycles or whatever, and put things together and make them work. And that's how I learned how to polish, steel and metal and chrome and everything. What you doing, sweetie? Huh? I'll see you. I'll see. All right, people. Well, that's about all I got to say for these. I'll let you guys give one more quick look before we sign off tonight. It's late at night right now. Just got home from work a little bit ago, and the package was sitting on my not my doorstep, but my mailbox. Luckily, it was in my mailbox. I was able to fit in it. These are my AD20.5s. My 10 AD20.5s. And like I said, the only way I'll buy any more is if they come out with some fancy steels. Or if they come out with, Demko's come out with the G10 handles or some, better offerings and options and stuff like that. That's the only way I'll buy any more. If they don't do that, then I'm through getting them. I got all the ones I want. And all these, I plan on using every one of them. All of these are going to be user knives. These two. These are all going to be user knives. These are the Demkos I like to carry because they're lightweight. They're easy to carry. These, the shark's foot ones are probably the ones that I'm going to be carrying the most. I'm going to be blunt because these got the 3-inch blade and these are legal everywhere. These are a little bit over 3 inches, like 3¼ inches. So it goes beyond that rule a little bit, even though I know nobody's going to care about that. But I just like the peace of mind of knowing that I got something, somebody that can't say that I got something that's, And I like these knives. The shark lock, I got the same type of faith in it that I would like a triad lock. And plus it's fidgety. It's more fidgety than an Axis lock or XR lock. I mean, it's the most fidgety lock. It's more fidgety than a plunge lock. It's more fidgety than a compression lock. It's more fidgety than a ball bearing lock. It's more fidgety than a liner lock or a frame lock. And it's stronger than all of them too. You feel me? This is stronger than a plunge lock. It's stronger than a liner lock. It's stronger than a frame lock. It's stronger than a compression lock. It's stronger than a ball bearing lock. It's stronger than an Axis lock. It's stronger than an XR lock. It's stronger than the Able lock. It's stronger than all of them. It's stronger than all of them. I think the only thing that might be giving this one some competition is the deadbolts and the triads. And out of those two, the only one that you can fidget with, really fidget with, is the deadbolt. But that's not the greatest knife for fidgeting because, I don't know, the blade doesn't fly, that easily. It takes a little bit of risk. These, you don't need any risk. These are beautiful knives. These are beautiful knives. And like I said, this was ball bearings, and this is the most used one. And nothing's wrong with it. It's been apart lots of times. Always, because people talk about the ball bearings. I've been checking them. Nothing's wrong with my ball bearings. Nothing wrong with my balls. But anyway, I love them. I love them. Let's show them all. I absolutely love these. Highly recommend them. These are some of my favorite knives ever. I love these knives. They're the most fun to carry, most fun to use. Now, one thing though, I find that they're not the best slicers though. Because the blade geometry is not really a slicey blade. It's more like a heavy-duty utility type blade. But they will cut. They will slice. It's just, these ones do better than these, it seems like. The S models. I love the S models. The S models have the same thickness of blade, 3.2 millimeter, as the AD20.5s. And they also the bearings look the same too to me. I don't know if they are the same, but they look a lot alike. Alright, well that's about it. Peace out. Stiletto.